Such a beautiful show. It was so captivating. It found the poetry and the art and the beauty in the tiniest things. And now I feel like I have poetry in my fingernails and going on in my brain. I really recommend coming and seeing this show.
Truly speaking, I was absolutely gobsmacked. This was such a brilliant amalgamation of history, cosmology, neurology, microbiology, and mythology and spirituality, everything rolled into one. It was contemporary and at the same time prehistoric and historic. Absolutely amazing and riveting.
I really enjoyed the whimsical, fantastical side of the mythology, the cultural story of the Abhisarika, and the way that you interwove the neuroscience in such a delightful and surprising way was really exciting.
This was such a fantastic show. I was surprised by how beautiful it was, but also the writing is superb.
Came not without any preconceived notions, and you really surprised me. It's a very inspiring act, very powerful, and definitely you got my dopamine going.
It's a wonderful combination of neuroscience and storytelling, and also combining the storytelling with images.
It was absolutely fantastic. It was very interesting to see the classical components mixed with contemporary day, and I think it's also extremely innovative, so it's a performance definitely worth watching.
As someone who comes from half of my family, this is their heritage, so seeing my family represented in theatre is so important, and it makes me think of my mum, my auntie, my cousins, my nanny, and it was just really beautiful, really inspiring, really funny as well. It was like just such a wonderful night.
The other thing I really liked is the way that this performance and this artwork answers the danger of traditionalisation, which is when we try or make an effort to revive old forms or to preserve forms, but do so by rooting them entirely in the past, by leaving the contemporary out of the storytelling. And of course, storytellers in traditions evolve, adopting everything that comes along, and they'll tell stories in the early 1900s about getting trains, and later about getting airplanes, and later on with, understanding DNA and chemistry and microbiology. That's what traditional storytellers do.
It was amazing. I think vocally it was really challenging, and I think she did an amazing job. And I think that, it's amazing to take something that was considered obsolete in India and bring it back, especially into Sydney with Fringe, fusing it with, a contemporary society.
I thought it was phenomenal. It was such an incredible combination of art, cerebral material linked with art, abstract, at the same time connection with our ancient Hindu culture, ancient culture of India, with so many elements. I'm just amazed. I think I don't have words to describe the details, but it was an incredible experience. I'm so glad I came, and I hope many more people watch it and appreciate this art.
I thought that was an extraordinary work, unlike anything I've ever seen before. Unfamiliar with the picture story form, but I love it, and I'll probably seek some more out now that I know about it. Really clever combination of the deep scientific knowledge and the ancient stories. The way that it was put together was really clever as well, and the writing was excellent. Really impressed with the writing. The realisation of the stories through using the set pieces really well done. Really clever accent work with the embodiment of the performance and the percussive notes that it hit. It sounded almost kind of like a Ginsberg beat poetry piece in some ways, and I loved that. Although obviously it was presented in a traditional Indian style, it had something of the 60s beat poetry quality about it, which I really enjoyed.
wonderful performance, and I must admit I was not aware of this art form, and it was a real eye-opener. And it's a bit sad to see that such a great art form was actually subdued by colonial forms of education. And now that you're here in Australia, bringing it out, it's a great tribute to Australian multiculturalism that you're actually doing this.
Thoroughly engaging, it's absolutely fantastic, and I really love the sort of meshing of ancient stories and traditions and understandings with contemporary science, which kind of, they mirror one another. So I just thought it was a fabulous blending of those worlds. Thank you very much. Those different epistemologies, if you like. It was just fantastic. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
I'm a lecturer, and I could see that you are an all-rounder. You know, everything was there in that performance. So there was acting, there was tradition, there was cultural things coming up, there was knowledge, there was science, there was economics, there was everything. And personally I feel that these kind of activities could be incorporated, you know, in our lecture sessions. For example, we conduct lecture classes for 3 hours or so. So these can be an interesting, tools which we can use to teach our kids. Also in universities, and also now I feel, as I'm a grandparent, even for my younger one, I want to start off doing these things. So well done, and I'm really inspired.
Absolutely loved the storytelling. It makes me feel very, very sad that it has been taken away from the Indian arts. It's an incredible form of storytelling, thoroughly enjoyable. Would love to see more of it.
Concept, the performance, the production, the set, everything is incredible.
It was visually beautiful, it was very intelligent. She has a wonderful way of integrating movement and poetry and story and science. So I was very interested in the way that she did that. When she explained at the end about the bigger picture, the decolonising of art forms where high arts are made, village arts are made to seem to be less, and how by using that form she's keeping it going. I understood it in a different way. She was absolutely entrancing. I wasn't bored at any point in the whole show, and I can often be a little bit bored some shows, but she kept my attention the whole way, and I love the fact that we were able to direct some of the story through choosing the motifs. So I enjoyed this greatly, and I would recommend it to everybody.
I thought she was a very, very talented actress, dancer, and also informing about basic physiology, and it was absolutely fascinating. For some reason I thought it was going to be comedy, and there was a lot of comedy in it, but it was intellectually informing, and the dance and her personality came through all the time. I was delighted. I think that people should go and see it. They are missing out on a very delightful show if they don't come and see this.
The show is so worth seeing, and it's a great use of language and picture recitation techniques that I don't think anyone's ever seen before, so go see it.
This is one of the most original performances I've ever seen. It's quite a magical combination of traditional Indian storytelling and modern neuroscience. I think you must see it, there's nothing like it.
Combines ancient tradition, it brings it forward, it takes it out of marginalization, it thrusts it in the middle of who we are today, with examples like fear of missing out to all of the neuroscience that is made beautifully accessible in this program. Well, children, I would recommend it, certainly for teenagers. I would recommend any programmers who really want to dive deep into storytelling and what it means to have dance, poetry, music, and knowledge sharing.
It was a lightningly amazing show. I learned so much about Indian traditions of storytelling and neuroscience. It makes me want to see it again. Would love to see it more.
And I
enjoyed the way she placed all the knowledge together, so that at times we laughed, at other times we were thinking about the science behind it, and then the other times we were curious about the history and the stories that belong to India.
Insightful, very creative, very impactful, really touching everybody in different ways. Belongs for everybody because it's really speaking to everybody's cultures. When it's quite specific, it becomes actually universal.
That was absolutely awe-inspiring. I was blown away not just by the metaphor of dopamine and love, and it being beyond the ego. Love being told from the story of the microbiome, from the intricacies of inside your brain. Priyanka has nailed neuroscience like I've seen no other artist. I'm a neuroscientist and I had not even a single error message. It was absolutely brilliant. Please, everyone see it.
I had actually never heard of picture recitation before this, but as someone with Indian heritage who has been raised exclusively in the West and is now trying to reconnect with my culture, coming here and learning about this and getting to see it live in person today in such a beautiful way was incredible, very healing, very educating, and it's an experience that I absolutely will not forget for ages to come.
It's a weave of science and poetry. It's almost Shakespearean in its delivery. Fantastic movement, beautiful humour, great illustrations.
A really wonderful example of multimodal storytelling, and I love the way in which a contemporary iteration of multimodal storytelling connects so beautifully to an old tradition.
It was funny, it was brave, she's a wonderful dancer, the sets and the props were beautifully conceived and beautifully put together. She held the audience in the palm of her hand, and it's just well worth promoting this wonderful performance that she brings so much skill to.
Absolutely thrilling, and I'm a medical practitioner, and the dopamine just became alive for me, and I could now actually put it in my work every day to look at the dopamine coming down, and it's actually got it's been personified in a way that I never thought was possible.
I think art and STEM, past and STEM are together, and this is what Priyanka has personified. She's brought STEM into art and made it modern. What was from 2,000 years ago, she's made it modern. She's brought it to life, and it's just amazing.
I thought it was a really fresh take and interesting take on Indian dance and storytelling, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was really unexpected.
Really enjoyed Priyanka's performance. It was a fantastic example of reviving an ancient tradition and the intersection between neuroscience and art and ancient pictorial storytelling.
Wow, that was wild. That was an amazing show. Such beautiful crafting, such beautiful design. So many ideas. My neurons are going a little bit haywire at the moment.
So I really love this performance because I see lots of South Asian performances. Mostly we get the traditional forms repeated again and again. As much as I love them, what's unique about this was they used the traditional format but used contemporary tales and used modern scientific methodology. So it's about resurrecting the past and taking it into the future, and that's what I love to see more of it, and it's very contemporary in that way, so it really blew my mind. I loved it.